And we're back. Here we go, Ian and Sandy for another carcast with our special guest, as always, Ambient Rainfall. Good to hear from you. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great.
So this is the third installment?
This is the third one, but the fifth one we've ever recorded.
Excellent.
But maybe that will shatter the illusion, so I might have to edit that out.
Oh, good. So it doesn't actually interrupt the Fast and Furious tie-in that I was trying to do at all there.
Not at all.
With the mixed up
Don't worry, this will be the
stuff.
third one.
So, we have been away for a while, not to give anyone an insight into the recording schedule of this.
It is quite random and highly fluctuating, but that's okay. If they do somehow figure out the timeline of this, does it really matter? Maybe it does.
If they care so much, why don't you donate to our totally real Patreon cast so we can afford an unpaid intern to do this stuff for us?
That would be smashing.
They need their LinkedIn references and CV stuff too. Think of them, guys. It's not all us YouTube millionaires back here.
Oh, certainly not anymore. Anyway, so on this edition of the podcast, Sandy is much, much, much better dressed than I am. So what's the deal with that? You trying to make me feel bad?
Thank you for noticing, man. You know, I've been looking back at the previous podcast and I'm trying to see what we're doing well and what we can improve on.
Okay.
One of the big issues I feel in the carcast just now is image.
Okay.
We don't look professional in this audio-only podcast.
Well, you do.
I think the audience is, reacting poorly to that. So what I did was I took all the money we made from last podcast.
Okay.
All of that's gone. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
And I invested it in just, sharpening up half the image of the team.
Nice.
So I thought, now that we're looking more big money, I'm going to represent the wrestling authority to equate this carcast to WWE, which is how I've been wanting to take it the whole time, just to fill you in there.
Maybe I should also dress up and then we can be like some sports commentators.
I think, that would be great.
That would be great. Or maybe I can be the guy that's like a bit too casual all the time and that can be like my thing.
What I've really wanted to do is have the dynamic of, the Adam Sandler and the guy from ITV's Lethal Weapon TV show spin-off?
No.
Well, we started the not reference getting early, just the way I like it.
Please explain.
So remember the Lethal Weapon trilogy and also the other one, which didn't have Mel Gibson in it?
Yeah, vaguely.
Speaking of which, well, was that when they started to realise Mel Gibson might not have been as, stellar a guy as the world liked to pretend he was?
He's having a bit of a comeback, though.
Don't let him do that. Don't let people get away with being Mel Gibson just because they can make a good movie. I wanted to see Hacksaw Ridge as much as the next man. And you know what? I thought the trailer for How I Spent My Summer Vacation looked pretty cool. But Mel Gibson doesn't deserve my damn money.
Okay,
He's trying to take it. He comes round every f***ing night to my house. He's like, hey buddy, you want to check it out? I've also got this other movie, The Gringo, that you want to see. And I'm like, I get it. You make good f***ing films, Mel. Leave me alone. I can't be seen to endorse this. Look, I get it. Everyone f***ing loved Manchester at the Sea, or whatever that movie was. But Ben Affleck's brother...
I think it was By the Sea, but close enough.
Ben Affleck's brother totally is a bad dude. And if he makes successful movies, then he can get away with that stuff. For the record, I can't possibly confirm or deny that Casey Affleck has done any of that, and nor am I referring to him in the legal sense. Not calling you out. We don't really have the legal team or budget or man-hours to fight that one yet. But,
thanks for that disclaimer, man. You probably just saved our future selves a lot of work.
Look, man, I get it. Nobody likes Ben Affleck, really, but I also I wouldn't want to have a go with the guy. He's still packing that Batman weight.
True.
It's not looking good.
And there's a sequel coming, so he's not going to lose it anytime soon.
He's not going to lose it. And with the news we've been getting from the Batman production, he's probably going to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's probably not going to hesitate about swinging. And you know what? My day is complicated enough as it is without having a feud with both of the Afflecks at this range. That's a lie. I think there's a third one. I think there's another Affleck.
I don't know, are the Afflecks like the Baldwins, where there's always another one?
I remember there being a reference to one of the kind of generic American actor celebrity types in How I Met Your Mother, about there being a third sibling that nobody talked about. But because Ben Affleck is one of those guys, you just kind of generically assume is in everything.
I think there's a third Kylie Minogue sister as well, after Danni. I think there's a third one of them as well.
It could be that. The Afflecks and the Minogues are very, very interchangeable at this stage.
Absolutely.
So I had a bit of a interesting weekend.
You did?
That was
Tell me everything, or at least the highlights of it.
If I tell you everything, then you will be weeping for the suffering that I have endured. Because, man...
Well, that sounds like a total downer, and I will edit it out, so...
Because let me tell you...
No pressure.
Let me tell you, man. Going on a holiday to a first world country and hanging out with your long-time friends from years ago and catching up, it's really hard.
Is it?
Really hard.
Ah.
So, in the last couple of weeks, around the office and the home life, I have been surrounded with a miasmic pox of unwellness.
Oh dear.
Literally everyone in my life who could possibly have interacted with me seemed to be carrying something.
Does this mean I'm at risk right now?
No, I had like a day to get over it, so I'm totally fine.
Sweet.
Remember, after all of the horror stories that I have endured in my life, namely anything to do with the BVs, and also that 2 weeks in the Arctic Circle where I was majorly poisoned.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that? We should do that at some point, but not today.
I don't know, I'd have to check the back catalogue.
Don't worry, I've been kind of bringing it up in conversation a little bit, so don't want to rehash that too early. Originality is what people come here for, and also the business aesthetic.
As of this episode, the business aesthetic is something we shall push hard.
Definitely going to build on that. So, going to Oslo, originally, no problems, and then the world conspired to try and get me sick. But you might think, Sandy, you're Sandy f***ing
Smith.
100% hardcore guarantee. Nothing could possibly get you ill.
And 30% robot, allegedly. Robots don't get ill.
God, I wish I was more robotic. You know, I've been watching the short film and the pre-movie hype for the new Blade Runner movie.
Yeah.
You know the aesthetic behind all these kind of films of, you know, eventually we'll get to a point where humans can just replace things about themselves.
Yep.
Like Ghost in the Shell was pretty prevalent for that. Of just I'm just going to replace my liver so I can drink all night and it's not going to be a problem. Mine are much more prosaic. I would just replace my joints. Like, I'm 23 years old, maybe at the time of production. We'll see. No guarantees. Maybe blur that one out. We don't want people to get too close to me.
Do you mind if people know how old you are?
You know, I've got a past, man. I've got a heavy set of library fines, and I owe a very, very significant sum of money to a Norwegian 24-hour fitness gym at this stage. Look, man, I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and find, you know, a big, hulking Norwegian bodybuilder ready to collect his dues. So, you know. So
did you go to Oslo and film The Hangover 4? Is that what's happened?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get my act together. I want to be seen to be more respectable just now, just for when I branch out from YouTube into the acting career. Nice. I'm going to be just like that one guy.
Which one guy?
I don't remember, but it's not PewDiePie, because PewDiePie is very not okay in the public eye right now.
Oh, yeah, I did see that on the top of YouTube trending the other day.
A friend of mine who was weirdly enough one of the few human beings on Earth who actually asked me about the podcast. It's like, oh, did you do more of those? And I said, bloody hell!
Oh my god!
Interacting with the fans. My Oslo trip actually turned out to be a fan meetup.
Wow!
One of them. It was incredible.
I wish I could have been there.
So. And he was like, so Sandy, how do you make money off this? What? No.
It's just a joke. There is no money. And even if there was, we'd have to split it in half.
And even if there was, I'm definitely not telling Ian about it. Shut up. So I was explaining to him the recent adpocalypse in YouTube just now, where a lot of companies are realizing that they are paying money to put their adverts on, you know, some less than kosher stuff. Literally on YouTube.
Not including this though. This is about as kosher as it comes.
This is clean. I mean, you saw me denouncing mean people on the Hollywood. Mean is about as strong as we can go. Mel Gibson, yeah, he's still coming for us either way.
Yeah, man. I'm really not comfortable that you've called him out like this, but
you know, I'm
just gonna have to add to our appeal.
I had to stand by my guns, man. Even if I did like Braveheart. Enough of that.
It was a better time. We'll just leave it at that.
It was a more ignorant time, and ignorance with Hollywood actors truly is bliss.
Especially ignorance of bridges that were totally there. Why is there no bridge? Fine, it's fine. I didn't only study it for 2 years in high school, and my teacher didn't have a vendetta against that movie for not including the bridge, and didn't totally pass it on to me, but she totally did. And thanks for that.
I assume you also had the exercise of just watch the film and tell me what was wrong about it.
Yes.
So as long as you had eyes, you would pass. Ooh, maybe want to cut that. I don't know if we want to alienate the non-sighted audience from our audio-only podcast.
It might be okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I totally did some. We're not going to justify discrimination there. We will leave that to the Pewds. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Do you want to get back to your story and we'll just make a nice clean cut here?
Ooh, we're going to jump away from that one. So, the holiday thing. Yeah. Thursday night, I'm staying at a friend's house because I'm getting a nice early flight Friday. I'm like, I've done it. I've dodged the sick people at work. I've dodged the sick people at home. If there was any sick people in between, I'd have punched them in the fucking face to keep them out of my damn way. Nobody was going to get between me and this holiday.
Were you all hydrated and vitamined up?
Oh, dude, I've been fucking doubting. We're going to have to start. We're going to switch what profanity I'm using. It's all been very oriented. I don't want people to think I don't have artistic range when it comes to my cursing, because usually I'm quite good about it. Maybe I'll switch to Mandalorian or something. That's pretty niche.
Whatever you're comfortable with, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes at the time. You ride the wave with podcasts. So everything's going well until halfway through Thursday night dinner, where I just, in the middle of some polite conversation and some mild complaining about the love life. Because, you play the character, you give the people what they want. People don't want the happy Sandy stories, which we're not going to touch on today. This is going to be a horrible, horrible time for Sandy. And you guys love it.
If you are loving it, maybe leave a like.
Simon, if you're out there.
Did we just break the fourth wall? Can you do that in an audio-only podcast?
I think you need to have an audience member on the other side noticing it for the fourth wall to be broken. Otherwise, we're just stuck here in our regular frame of car.
Okay.
Glass.
I'll invite an audience then, maybe, next week.
Which,
Nah, they might be expecting something else, though, given that we are in a car.
Yeah.
That's a subtle dogging joke, just in case you weren't getting it.
I completely missed out on that one.
Is dogging a swear? Am I going to have to bleep that out? I don't know. I might just cut that, put it in the...
No.
I don't know.
I'm definitely pro-dogging in this conversation. What?
Moving on.
So, long story short, I was feeling well, and then I was not well. I was very not well.
Where in your journey did you begin to notice this? Were you on the plane, or was it when you were
I was so halfway through the dinner on the Thursday night, the night before the flight in the morning, I was like, well, this is going to happen.
Oh, jeez.
And it ain't going to be pretty. But I was still at a friend's house, and we're kind of new into the whole friendship thing. So we're sitting there, doing the small talk, making polite conversation over dinner with her and her boyfriend. Being what I like to think was a pretty acceptable house guest. I made the right amount of conversation over MasterChef, sided with whatever shitty chef they wanted. Get it, guys? Variety. And, generally passed the night away. And they went off to bed, and I went, alright, you've got...
time to vomit up my lungs.
Time to throw up that dinner they lovingly crafted for me upwards of 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
And it was grand. So, eventually I got to the stage where I was like, there is no way in high hell that I'm getting on a plane for this. I will die. I will be thrown off the plane regardless of whether we are at the airport or in the skies itself. That's not going to happen. I just had, despite all my previous thoughts of invulnerability, I embraced humanity that day, and it felt poorly. It was not fun. So I got up, I slept through my flight. I was like, that's not going to happen. And because it was Ryanair, despite all the claims of travel insurance and rearranging flights and shit, the response from their crack problem team was, don't even try it. don't waste your time. Do not belittle yourself by thinking you will get a return on this. And I went, okay, well, I guess that's holiday cancelled then.
Classic Ryanair.
Whoops. I was breaking this tragic news to the friends I was meant to be meeting there. And I was walking despondently back to the train station, thinking of how I was going to break this news of ignominious failure to the family.
Oh, hey, Sandy, I thought you were going on holiday. Well, Mum, turns out I'm not.
And then I realised I gave those Aussie pissheads my word that I was going to get on that flight. I'm going to do it, if it's not too expensive. So while I was waiting on the train home, I thought, I'm going to set myself a challenge. If I can get a flight booked that is reasonable, bear in mind it's the Sandy
Jones
means of reasonableness, so that's pretty damn low. So I got a more expensive than original flight, It originally had been a nice, cheap as chips Ryanair flight that would have got me in by the afternoon. The round 2 had me going via London,
Oh dear.
an overnight stay in Helstinki.
What?
Yeah. If you've ever seen a map, you will know that Helstinki is not particularly near Oslo by quite some margin. You know, I always like to think I'm the kind of guy that will go the extra mile for his friends. Turns out I'm the kind of guy that will go the extra 1,000 or so miles for
To
them.
Helsinki, of all places.
You know what? As far as airports go, I have stayed in worse. There was a good supply of Wi-Fi and reasonable USB charger stores because, fool that I was, I didn't bring any chargers. And trying to buy UK to European plug port,
tricky.
I failed twice.
Yeah, much easier when you're in the UK.
Much easier when you aren't still vomiting.
Yeah.
My
So
headset-
apart from the vomiting, was it kind of like the movie The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks?
Is that the one where he misses his original flight and just has a really rough time as he spends his time in the airport just negotiating to himself whether he can afford to switch off airplane mode for a little bit so he can lie to his mum about everything that's going on the trip because she still thinks it's going according to plan?
I think if they were to remake The Terminal, that's probably what they would do.
I think that's a movie I could be interested in seeing, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Tom Hanks will be in it again. He smashed it the first time.
I'll be honest.
Although that's not quite the premise. The premise of the first Terminal movie, because of course there's now going to be a sequel starring you. That's what we've decided here now. Is that Tom Hanks is flying towards his home country, which is one of these Eastern European type, formerly Russia places.
Okay, I've heard of the Eastern Bloc, yeah.
Yep. And he's connecting via, I don't know, some American airport. But unfortunately, his country, while he is in the middle of his connecting flight, ceases to exist.
Oh, shit.
So he's kind of stuck in the airport until, you know, either the rebels lose or the rebels win and they re-establish statehood. Yeah. And it's just the story of a man stuck in an airport for some time.
Oh, nice.
No vomiting though, so probably not the best best comparison.
Wouldn't be playing to my skills, certainly.
No.
Right now.
So now that we've established that The Terminal 2, starring Sandy and also Tom Hanks, is totally happening, do you think maybe we could get Vin Diesel on board and he could fund it for us?
Oh, yeah, I think
That seems like the kind of thing he'd be up for, right?
I think Vin Diesel is just generally up for anything, considering the amount of stuff he's been in. And he's just, to me, one of the most enthusiastic people the world has ever seen. No man has ever been so hopeful about the movies he makes. He is, after all, the guy who, after 12 to 13 years of absence, thought the world wants to see XXX3, The Return of Xander Cage. And you know what? He was right. As long as, of course, by the world, he meant Santa
Taylor.
And I would like to think I could be Vin Diesel's world one day. I think we could have a happy life together. Because as much as I like The Rock, I think if it meant I could be happy together with Vin Diesel, I wouldn't appear in a movie with him.
Fair enough.
It's like, on the topic of ignoring actors, you know, slightly,
Questionable life choices.
yeah, personality areas of improvement, certainly.
Okay.
With some actors, it's hard to ignore it. You know, it's very hard to pretend that Mel Gibson is just, you know, your regular average guy who just enjoys a bit of the sauce too much. It's not the 90s anymore. That ship has very much sailed, crashed onto some rocks, burnt down, been struck by lightning, but the pieces of the broken ship are now washing back to the shore.
And are reassembling into Mel Gibson, kind of like the Terminator did in Terminator 2.
And I was thinking about Terminator Genesis the other day.
Again?
You know, I just, like, it's not, I know, I'm an honest person. I'll own up to myself and say Terminator Genesis is not a good movie. But it still made me feel good.
Okay, well, I guess that's something.
Like, well, you know, it wasn't a...
I liked seeing Matt Smith for all 5 minutes of screen
Holy
time.
shit, what a good twist that was.
Floor.
I was like, Matthew Smith? The opening credits went, that's kind of like Matt Smith, the Doctor.
Could it be?
The Doctor.
It's Doctor Who!
I went, the Doctor in a movie about time-travelling stuff? That's hella meta.
And he's the bad guy, apparently. What?
Yeah, but, you know, it's the Terminator, so are the robots the bad guys? Or do they just have bad PR?
Guess it depends on your perspective, really. Many things.
My perspective as a super fun nihilist is that humans are generally bad. Not you guys listening at home or wherever you've got mobile data. You guys are all right.
Sidebar over.
Terminator Genesis. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger's classic return to, his seminal role in movies. Not the huge muscled all-American hero, but just a guy protecting his family. Because that was his, once he got past his Conan and Terminator all-destroying hero phase. I don't know why I just referred to the Terminator as the hero there.
He's the good guy in the second one.
And he's the good guy.
And the third one.
In the third one, which was not a...
It's just the second one again.
It's not quite Terminator Salvation. So,
You're not wrong.
Thinking about Terminator just makes me sad.
Yep. Remember when they had two really good movies and they had an 100% record? And then the third one was less good. It was like,
Hopefully.
You know what? Two of them were definitely great. And this last one's kind of good. Then Salvation came out. Suddenly there were 2 for 2. You're like, this one is crucial. If this next one is bad, that's it. There's more bad than good. And then they did it. And now it's 2 and 3. The majority of Terminator movies are bad.
You know what's never going to have that problem?
No. This podcast?
Carcast. You're quite right.
Yes, I got there. Just before you said it anyway.
Because we definitely don't have the budget to keep the show running that long.
No.
It's fine. Don't worry. The lawman will kill us before the reviews do.
Or Mel Gibson.
But we're certainly building up a queue at this stage.
I think I'll be okay. I don't think I've said anything that you'd be too upset with, but I am the editor, so he might take umbrage at that.
I'm going to be honest. Not that I'm continuing my Mel Gibson rant, but I don't think he's too particular about who he takes his aggression out on, so you might want to be wary of that.
How old's Mel Gibson? Do you think we'd win?
Look, man, you can take the kid out of the council estate, but you can't take the council estate out of the kid. Mel Gibson would fuck us up.
If there's two of us in the same scenario, maybe I could take a hit, and then you jump on his back, and then I recover.
Yeah, but my knees are really bad, though.
Okay, so you take the hit, and I'll jump on his back.
Yeah, he's coming for me anyway. He's not going to expect you.
You're right.
That's
it. We'll survive this. Bring it on, Mel.
We're calling you out now, Mel. Bring it.
No weapons at all. That's the only catch.
We'll be in the bright red car outside whatever Weatherspoons you fancy. It's on. But give us 2 weeks' notice. We've got work to think about.
That was an enjoyable tangent. Do you want to launch back into your Norway story?
I thought we were just going to finish it. I went to a place and was uncomfortable. You know what?
I figured there was more.
Nah, I just went to Helstinki, called it a day. Had my journey, headed back home in the morning.
Nice. It's no Oslo, but
you're not wrong there, old sport. Oslo is top. Would recommend. I'll give you some highlights. Do you like alcohol? Yeah.
Yeah.
You like paying a reasonable price for your alcohol?
Yeah, that's why I'm such a big fan of spoons.
Yeah. See, now we're winning the audience back. We're not calling people out indiscriminately. Spoons is something you can get behind.
Spoons is something you can get behind. Although I did realise that they've got a promotion up, promoting lower tax rates.
Ooh. For businesses?
I think for businesses, yeah. Implying that they can drop their prices even lower and make more money, whilst giving the government the same amount of money. Anyway, I didn't study economics, and maybe you don't agree with me.
Maybe it's just my tie and waistcoat talking here. Taxes are cool as shit.
I do like cheap beer as well, though, so I could possibly be won over.
Cheap beer, money for healthcare systems and free education, and occasionally, a couple of years down the line, that pothole's going to get fixed. It's difficult.
It is difficult.
Yeah.
Cheap beer is like bird in the hand,
and
then all that other stuff's like two in the bush kind of stuff.
Is that how you use that expression? I've been trying to figure that one out for years. I've heard it used.
I hope that's right. I don't know. But you got the pint in your hand, so that's like the bird.
Yeah.
And that's worth two in the bush, which is like a bit unknown. You're like, is there really anything in that bush? It's a mystery.
Hashtag don't quote us on that.
No, definitely don't. Maybe this is too political. Maybe don't quote us on any of this.
No, Mel Gibson's you can quote me on that. Please bleep that one. Bleep that.
No worries, man.
Do you follow Weatherspoons News, old sport?
No.
The best quarterly pub and politics-related magazine this side of the Thames, I would say. It's some first-class reporting right there. If you're not too fond of the EU. Spoon's news is pretty heavy-handed with that. It's this great new craft ale is available in stores. A new Wetherspoons has been opened in some random English town you'll never hear of.
Right.
And also...
Get it up, you Jean-Claude Juncker.
And also
is it that kind of thing?
The people want democracy. Why won't they give it to us, etc.
Yeah.
Exceptional. It's quite a nice font, and the formatting of the articles is quite pleasant to the eye. So, you know...
And they sell cheap beer.
And you know what? Steak Tuesdays, you know, it's good value for money. Is it good value for money if the steak itself is of questionable value? We're not going to get into that. I don't need all cows everywhere coming after us as well. So, Oslo, yeah, eventually I get there. Here's a fun tip for you, actually, by the way. If you are ever going to go out and dislocate or break, at this stage in the game, every limb in your body, make sure...
At the same time?
I would try and avoid that, if at all possible.
Just, does it matter for the advice?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You know, as long as it's just done beforehand, wouldn't advise doing it at the airport. That would rather put a downer on the holiday plans. But hey, it's your life, alright? You go and break whatever the you want, man.
Will do. Is that the pro tip? Don't do it in an airport?
It's a tangential tip, certainly, that spans off the main one, which is,
do you mean a tangential tip, rather than whatever you said?
Ooh, that's a damn good question. Is tangential not the word?
No.
Is that a word? Does it mean anything?
I don't think so. I'm fairly sure you mean tangential, and tangential kind of sounds like the punchline to something.
Ooh, that was...
Tangent. I don't know, maybe some clever maths joke. Give me 10 minutes, I'll maybe come up with something.
Roll the clip, guys.
That'll be the closer. I'll close with a if I remember, we'll close with a tangent.
I'll call you back to that callback joke later, man. So if you're gonna, just if it happens, sometimes it does, if you're gonna dislocate or break every limb in your body, just make sure, if you're gonna sleep rough in an airport, find somewhere comfortable. Because, it wasn't a fun experience to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and find out your arms don't work. It's quite important for just, carrying your stuff about. I carried that stuff through several countries. I wasn't going to abandon it to the frozen wastes of Helstinki.
How did you come about these dodgy arms? Was there a brawl?
Man, what happens in Helstinki?
Helstinki. Oh, wow.
Well, welcome back to the Primary Six podcast, everyone. That's we're coming at you with all the butts and farts related jokes we can find. This is just how PewDiePie feels, no doubt.
Yeah, except we haven't gone quite as far as that yet.
Yeah, the night's still young, man,
That's
despite
true.
how dark it is outside.
Oof.
But we're keeping our movements irregular, so when the government or the Casey brothers...
The Aflec brothers?
That's the one. So when the government or the Aflec brothers come to shut us down, we don't have any predictable movements that they can track.
Nice.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they can always just follow the license number, or, our houses. Both of those, aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But, we're cutting down the risk.
That's true. Maybe if they only listen to the first one, they'll maybe show up at your old flat.
Oh, that would be good. It's a good thing we didn't actually give away the address there. We should do that. Can you edit that back in?
No. YouTube doesn't let you change stuff once you put it up.
That's a real pain. That's a real pain that you can't do that. The amount of things I've uploaded to YouTube and then just gone, oh, it's shit. And I maybe should have realised that beforehand.
It's not your fault, man.
It is my fault, Unlike this, the numerous Sandy
Williams
related channels that are really a one-man band, and that one band ain't playing in tune.
Oh dear. Anyway, so what happened to your shoulders? That's what I want to know.
Oh, the breaking and dislocating thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Well, the first one was poor parenting, actually, because I fell off the monkey bars as a child and broke my arm in 3 places, and I think a week or so later my parents took me to the hospital.
That's unfortunate.
It's the excuse my dad gives himself now is, well, it toughened you up, didn't it? And I think, no. Funnily enough, a 4-year-old did not take any great character building lesson from that. He thought how his arm didn't work. Sorry, that got a little bit real there. I'm going to dial it back down a bit. Oh, so the most recent and fun one was an entirely unfortunate and hugely preventable incident of a tree trunk being on top of my arm. Would not recommend. There's another pro Sandy tip for you. Tree trunks belong in the ground, or chopped down into smaller pieces to make furniture or kindling. not a paperweight on top of you. That's not fun. It makes standing upright or makes doing pull-ups really bad. I miss pull-ups so much. They're such an underused exercise. Oh.
It's probably because they're such a faff.
Yeah.
Until you get one of those bars for your door.
Yeah, get a pull-up bar. People, just do it. It's really good. Shoulder muscles are great. And also just having a strong lower back is super good for you health-wise.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this podcast.
Another Pro Sandy life tip.
Thanks, man.
Don't break your bones. Don't...
Have good parents.
Have good parents, yeah.
Helsinki's not that bad.
Helsinki's quite nice, but if you can get on your original flight instead of taking like a 17-hour detour over 4 countries, maybe do that.
Wait a minute, 4?
Don't quote me on that.
Okay. I was gonna.
The audience didn't see my flight plan.
I was gonna give you London because England is technically, depending on who you ask, a different country. That's 1.
Yeah. This is
Anyway.
good. Now we've got our approachable man of the hero and the full businessman type character that I am. We've got this nice jarring relationship. But damn it, we get the job done. And we're the best on the force that the chief of YouTube has ever seen.
And the job is podcasting.
The job is just being there, doing the work, day in, day out, one day every couple of months at a time. It's a real tough grind, but somebody's got to do it.
Much like Will Ferrell's character in The Other Guys.
Oh man, that was a really good movie.
Except there's 2 of us. Maybe we could get a third person and they could be the Mark Wahlberg.
I thought. Damn, another time I've been passed up to be Mark Wahlberg. It's been a rough day. So I eventually get to Oslo. You know what?
Nice. Well done.
No, was not nice. The weather was shit. The weather was very shit.
Nice in that you had a plan. The plan went a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
But you still managed to follow through and end up completing the plan.
Yeah.
By ending up in Oslo. That's what I meant by nice. You got it done, man.
Thankfully, 7 years in the BB has prepared me for literally everything going wrong, but still being expected to get home on your own. Give me an appropriate pair of footwear and a good rucksack, and I'm good. I'm your man. I'll get places.
Do you need a map as well?
Nah, man. Thankfully, hedonistic display of pure nostalgia does not require glorious sunshine to flourish.
Sweet.
So just standing about under an umbrella, looking at all the places I used to hang out, almost occasionally remembering how to get between them, was very happy. Made a ritualistic pilgrimage to Games Workshop Oslo, found that it was not open, but still grasped longingly at the windows. A couple of locals might have wondered what I was doing, but they expect just weirdness of foreigners. It's fine. Besides that, 10 out of 10, good trip. Except from just the huge human web of disaster that was London Stansted yesterday.
Oh dear.
When you're travelling through the arse end of the arse end flights in the middle of nowhere, you don't really have to consider that other people are also going on holiday and also need to go through security and stuff. But man, when you hit London, there's a surprisingly large amount of people keen to get back to Glasgow. I've never seen that many people annoyed that they don't get to spend a night in Glasgow. Truly, to me, that would be a blessing on most occasions, but oof, those people felt wronged by Ryanair. And you know what? I felt no sympathy because, you know what? They didn't have to spend 8 hours in Helsinki. Not that I'm bad-mouthing Helsinki. Lovely city. It's actually one of the... when I was applying for places to study abroad, Helsinki came up. And back in 2014, it was rated the happiest city in the world to live in.
That is pretty good.
Turns out just having a good economy, nice place to live, good healthcare, reasonably good economy, it's better than Iceland's in the grand scheme of things. Works out alright. Weather's probably pretty good too, if you don't mind snow. I'm told, which I can't say I do.
Cool.
Quite nice.
In fact, I think I remember a survey along that line that put Scotland quite low.
Unsurprising, really.
Yeah.
There's some room for improvement, certainly.
Maybe we need to spread the word of Weatherspoons
That's
to the
thing.
general public.
We need more taxes, so we need less spoons.
You're
need
right.
more.
Maybe we should start up a rival chain and call it, Forks.
Podcasts.
Something less lame than Forks. That was a terrible idea. Let's not do that.
Don't worry, you can just edit it out and say... Just go back, scrub when you said Forks, and then say, we're going to call our pub chain Mel Gibson's a piece of shit. That wasn't quite hard enough. I was going to say, and you'll just call it Mel Gibson's a but I've already used that line. So, and it's hard to go more baller than that at this stage of the game. You can, but once more, we will leave that to PewDiePie. We do, actually, that's a shout.
What?
PewDiePie gets all this free publicity
By being controversial.
just by putting out a racial slur in one video.
Uh-huh.
I didn't expect to be reading anything about PewDiePie in the news yesterday, and then I was. Is that how we get views? Do we need to be
more controversial?
We get Mel Gibson onto the podcast.
Turns out he's been in on it the whole time.
Oh, what a twist this will be when the audience goes, it wasn't Ambient Rain, that's the special guest this week. It's everyone's favourite guy from the 90s before they realised he was an absolute piece of shit. Mel Gibson. Tell us more about how the first 3 Lethal Weapon movies were infinitely superior to the 4th one. And he'll say it's because they put a non-white actor in it. Oh wait, no, he probably won't, because he did star alongside Danny Glover. I'm going to leave that to your discretion on how you want to edit that one. I'm going to wash my hands of that. And there we go. There's our controversy sorted.
Nice.
Bam. Bring in the YouTube money. So I think this podcast's going pretty well.
It is going pretty well.
We've made some enemies. We've made some mistakes.
We found out some things about Norway and other places.
If it helps, I'm feeling better from that week, honestly.
Good.
Much better.
You met a fan of the podcast?
A fan of the podcast.
Do you know what I'm not a big fan of? People referring to podcasts as just pod.
Ooh.
Yeah.
People say that?
People do say that.
Just pods?
Just pods.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean...
I'm not super... I don't listen to every podcast ever made, because that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But the Green Brothers frequently refer to the podcast as the pod.
Oh.
And I don't like it at all.
I'm just not a big fan of people shortening 2-syllable words down, because that is the pinnacle of laziness for me. That might also just come from a place of resentment for when my mum just calls me Sand. And I was like, you gave me this stupid fucking name. You made me live my life called Sandy. You could have given me anything else.
What if she called you S? Would that be even worse?
S would have been cool. S-Dog would have been great if I'd been like.
I can't imagine your mum calling you S-Dog.
What if I was a tough bitten 70s detective then?
I still don't imagine your own mum calling you S-Dog.
I would need to be black.
Sorry, man.
These things happen, I suppose.
Maybe next genetic lottery.
The cool thing about the YouTube adpocalypse is that advertisers are suddenly waking up and going, what the fuck are we paying for advertisements on? Fun example, actually. A lot of British government related adverts for things like HM Forces and MOD and stuff. We're going on to a lot of, let's say, a little bit extremist videos.
What do you mean a little bit?
As in extremist videos. As in
woo, come join our cool club. We've got AK-47s and money and good food.
Yeah, the 3 ghost brothers from Casper.
Oh,
that then
cool.
went on to join ISIS. Yeah.
I didn't know
the West.
I didn't know they could afford them. Awesome.
So it's all part of their PR campaign. But they were the only ones they could afford. Mel Gibson was ironically the wrong kind of racist for them. Right ballpark, certainly.
Unlucky, Mel. Maybe next time.
Yeah, they'll branch out eventually. They'll branch out. They've got an enterprising mindset about them. Not that we're endorsing that. No, we don't need. So
basically, government videos were kind of going on to pro-terrorist stuff.
Yeah, which is if you've met our government, is something they're definitely a fan of. If you pay attention to politics.
Do you mean terrorism or?
Oh, our government fucking loves terrorism.
You're not
wrong.
It
doesn't like admitting it. It really doesn't like admitting it. So when they start paying for YouTube ads on it,
This is why I had to stop watching Question Time on Thursdays.
God, knowing stuff is such a huge burden.
It's not a burden, it just makes you really mad all the time. I find, anyway.
How do you think Mel Gibson feels?
I don't know. He's probably really happy. Because not only is the general public giving him another chance, because he's made some good movies recently, he's also got loads of money in the bank.
Does have loads of money in the bank.
And all he has to do is just avoid a few choice words in the future, and he'll probably go down in history as a good guy who had a bit of an off week. Because, of course, time dilates as you get away from it.
Yeah. It's like, let's tune into the totally a thing, heroes are bastards segment of the podcast.
I love that segment. Maybe hang on, let's slot in the jingle.
Oh.
The heroes are bastards. The heroes are bastards. That's the jingle. That was immaculate. That's staying in.
Copyright it now. John Malkovich ain't stealing that. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah. Glad I made this up on the fly and totally didn't forget about it. Everyone loves Winston Churchill, you know, from such things as Our Money. And
that war that he won. Debatably.
No, you know.
He did have a good speech.
Yeah, he had a good speech. And everyone loved when the guy who played the fat sidekick in The Last Samurai played Winston Churchill in The King's Speech. People just generally seemed fond of that.
He was also in, I think, a Christmas special of Doctor Who.
Was he?
I think so.
The guy from...
No, I mean someone playing Winston Churchill. I'm sure he showed up in a Doctor Who episode. Maybe it was a Christmas special. I don't remember. I've been kind of dipping in and out over the years.
That is just how you whitewash someone. Put them on Doctor Who.
I also remember Winston's top-notch famous speech from the end of Dunkirk.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
Oh.
But I don't want to spoil the ending for myself.
It's okay, man. Have you read books at all?
No, I've
There's no twist. It's exactly what happened. Allegedly.
I've actually been saving all of World War II history. Just, I'll get round to it at retirement. I've got a lot of reading to catch up on.
Fair enough.
I've not read any newspapers in the last couple of years, so I'll probably just put it off until age 65 and then just get it all out of there on the weekend.
Inglourious Basterds must have been really weird for you then.
Yeah, but that's just the acting talent of Brad Pitt.
So handsome. How does he do it?
Also, a quick side note on the whole Winston Churchill thing. There's also a very nice bar in Oslo called Churchill's House, or something. It's not, because I remember thinking it was called Churchill's, because I used to live there 2 years ago, and memory is a fickle thing. It's something to do with Winston. Winston's house, Winston's pub, Winston definitely committed genocide. Something along those lines. Look, fans of Churchill can always have the merry high ground of the crime of genocide wasn't a thing legally when he said it, but it's still, it was still, people died because of that. Churchill, not a fan of people who weren't white. Generally, that's not a thing that should get you on a banknote or be labelled the best Brit that ever lived. I get it, there's a lot of subpar Brits out there, but I'm just going to say, coming out there, you know what, probably more so than Mel Gibson, I think Winston Churchill was not a stellar guy.
Really? Gee, we didn't know that, did we, Leo?
No, we sure didn't.
That's because you were taken in by the BBC! Filthy British lies! But did they ever say a bad word about Winston Churchill? With his cigars, with his brandy, and his rotten paintings! Rotten!
Fair enough.
Hashtag brave tweet.
And contrasting Brad Pitt. Terrible diet.
Not handsome.
Nope.
Not interested.
So in that respect, quite a good Brit, actually.
As an archetypal
Brit. Solid.
Not that we're discriminating against you guys, because wow, that's a key chunk of our demographic right there. Most of our listeners do belong to the British Isles. So I don't remember what war it is, but when Churchill was a young, fresh-faced arsehole of a lieutenant, sorry. Yeah, he ended up being a prisoner of war.
I'm going to go for World War One because...
Nah. No, he wasn't, because he was in charge of something to do with the... Edit this out later if it's wrong, please. But I think he had some element of control over developments in the Turkey campaign, maybe? Which did not go well. Did not go well at all.
Oh dear.
A lot of people died, as is often the case when politicians run anything. But enough about our welfare state.
That's way too close to the bone. Wow. You've been watching a lot of Question Time somehow during its summer break.
Sandy came in hot to the podcast today. He has agendas and things to push. But enough about Mel Gibson. So, he was a prisoner of war. Found out about an escape attempt by some other officers. Forced himself into the plot, which they were originally against, because they suspected he would arse it up. Which he did! Which he did. He went out first, tripped some kind of alarm or something. It was 19th or 20th century, so it probably didn't trip an alarm. He probably just was seen.
Spotted by a dude with a torch.
There probably wasn't a lot of security cameras back then. I don't know, Again, don't quote me on this.
I'm imagining in Metal Gear Solid when, you know, the enemy sees you, and like there's the boing and the exclamation point.
I've never actually played any Metal Gear Solid games, but I get the reference.
That's all I needed.
Nice.
Except it's Winston Churchill and not a man with a voice of gravel.
So yeah, Churchill, if we're continuing to cite cracked articles as absolute indubitable truth, hopefully that pays off. Again, you're the editor, so if you feel like fact checking, go crazy. But I'm not gonna blame you if you've got better things to do. Like, you know, maybe you want to catch up on wrestling or watch the Triple X movie franchise. Both of those things I would rate higher than this. But again, we've got to start making that YouTube money. So maybe the controversy we've drafted this episode won't be enough, and we actually need to rely on our content. What a scary thought that is.
No, controversy is all you need in a sensationalist media,
Damn
vis-a-vis
right.
in YouTube.
Long may that continue, eh?
Let's do it, man. We'll not cross too many lines, though, because YouTube doesn't like it when you do that.
Ooh, we've got to start getting those ads.
Yeah.
Because seriously, we're out of petrol. We need to get home. So
Yeah.
we're here until those checks start balancing out.
Do you think
No rush.
Weatherspoons would mind if I went back in and scrounged their Wi-Fi for however long it takes me to edit this?
If we do that before they start hearing about our tax agenda with them, perhaps we'll
Right.
just try not to discuss script matters with them.
Good idea. If they come over and ask me what I'm working on, I'll be like,
I'm doing stuff, Laurie. Things. That's a reference to another thing I haven't watched. We'll get round to one day. Just like all of the news.
which is...
It might be The Walking Dead. I'm not sure. I saw a meme about it like 2 years ago. So yeah, Winston Churchill. Let's sum off the key points. Kind of a racist.
Bad diet.
Not as good looking as Brad Pitt.
Dead.
Genocide. Forced a massive famine in India, which was totally preventable. Not a good guy stunt. Stuffed up an escape attempt in a POW camp and he was the only one to escape because he stuffed up so badly and didn't stay to help the other guys, and was hailed as a hero for it because history loves bastards. That's what I'm here for, man. People that people like, wrong. Looking at you, Casey Affleck, or the Minogue sister
Damn
of
Minogue sister.
indeterminable,
Might even be a brother. I'm not sure.
and that's fine.
I just don't remember.
We'll put it on the YouTube
If they
description.
wanted to be known, they would have also had a pop career of some kind.
See,
I was going to say a successful pop career, but then I remembered that Danni was not quite the follow-up that she was maybe hoping. Anyway.
Plus, if we're going to say if you want to be successful, then you can. Let's not put too much pressure on the YouTube channel. Okay?
Or the third Minogue.
Yeah, exactly.
They can still make it.
They've got time if they want.
Why not? They've already got a famous surname. That
I mean-
beats me and you.
If they want to join in the podcast car crew, us, Mel Gibson, and Indeterminate Minogue.
And of course, John Malkovich from the
John
previous
Malkovich.
episode.
See, there's a callback joke, which is reminding me to call you back to the thing that I've already forgotten about.
Wait, I remembered. Hang on. No, it's gone. Oh, you made us... You screwed up saying tangential. Tangential, that was it. I've not been working on that, I'm sorry.
Sounds like things.
My promise was unfortunately a lie.
Don't worry, man. You've been too busy learning. That's
You're
way
right.
more important.
I learned lots of things.
And learning about the Triple X franchise. Oh, another thing about Norway. Definitely one of the high points of the trip. So towards the end of the endeavour, I was helping a friend of mine track down an item of gift to help him win the heart of a prospective lady love.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it's
So you
one
were
of-
doing bro stuff.
It was one of my favourite things to do, and we were looking for a shop which sold a thing, keeping it vague.
If you're keeping it vague, can I substitute in the plot from Superbad?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Nice. So you were after some Gold Slick vodka?
We were after some Gold Slick vodka so my mate could have sex with some schoolgirls.
But he was also a schoolgirl, so it was okay.
Depending on the kind of school you go to, my school would not have been okay with girl-on-girl stuff. But hey, enough about the Catholic Church and their weird deal. To each their own, I suppose.
So your mate is Michael Cera.
Yeah, my mate was
Your
Michael
mate is
Cera.
Michael Cera. He's looking for the Gold Slick vodka
Mhm.
because this is the plot of Superbad. Please continue your story.
And I said,
So you're Jonah Hill in this, just in case.
yep, you've got my character down pretty good there. I'm a big fat guy. That's classic Sandy right there.
Nice.
Oh, insecurities aren't fun.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. So, I said, you check the top floor of this place. I'm going to check the bottom floor. And we'll meet up if we found it. Because we're going to get you this thing, the vodka. And you're going to have sex with those appropriately aged and appropriately gendered, depending on your deal, people. The carcast accepts all comers. Not the... Not... We're toting the line here, and I acknowledge that is...
Just scoot right along, it's fine.
We're going to change the gear into reverse right now, and we're going to scoot away from this one.
Hang on.
And then... Oh, nice.
Done. We're in reverse. Make it happen.
And I said, we're going to split up, and we're going to find this thing. And I went away with a fresh set of purpose, until I found a DVD store. And I was like, oh my god! Fast and Furious 8, Fate of the Universe.
Fate of the Universe.
Fast and Furious 8, Fate of the Viniverse. Featuring a DVD release schedule some weeks ahead of the UK, because truly Norway is the best country ever. And I went, oh, don't mind if I fucking do. Let me check this one out.
Sweet.
And then I thought, am I going to pay £7 extra for the DVD just for a couple of weeks? Yes, I absolutely was.
Nice one.
Because I value our friendship, Vin, real or otherwise, creepy or not. I'm a big fan of your work. Let's just
leave it at that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a seat in the car if you want it, man. So that grabbed my attention for a good 5-10 minutes. And then I totally would have found the thing first if I hadn't been distracted. I let my friend down by following my heart, but I hope he understands. The important thing is, the thing happened, we got it, it was delivered, and hopefully hearts were warmed. I know mine was. Seeing and helping true love develop like that, I felt like a regular old...
Jonah Hill.
Yes, that's the one. That works.
Actually, he's kind of a dick in that movie.
Jonah Hill just kind of strikes me as a dick anyway. I really was not... Oh, this reminds me of what I was thinking about earlier. What's your thoughts on Miles Teller, by the way?
I've seen Whiplash.
I've seen Whiplash too.
I enjoyed Whiplash, but he was not my favourite actor in the movie Whiplash.
I think that's a sound statement. J.K. Simmons, a.k.a. one of the finest actors of our time, nay, any time. He did okay in that one.
He did really well.
Don't get me wrong. Was it a little bit troubling of a plotline? Do I think the mantra of you need to be mean to people for them to succeed works well? No, but enough about my home life. You leave whatever troubling character reveals you want in this podcast, man. Let's see if the extra angst.
They won't all make it.
That's good.
Just for speed and flow, but
we don't want to end up like the latest. Everyone is troubled after this celebrity says something in an interview. Clickbait, because
everyone is troubled because this YouTuber who sometimes says controversial stuff accidentally said a controversial thing in the middle of a live webcast.
Oh, good lord, we do not need that trouble right now. So yeah, one really good movie. What I found weirdly off-putting was Miles Teller rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, did he?
I can't get my finger around why. I don't know. It was a good movie. Did I like Miles Teller's character? No, but you're not meant to. Is it because Miles Teller plays an arsehole kind of well? And did he con me with his own acting skills? I don't know.
Did you not want him to succeed in that movie?
Yeah, I did. Did I? I don't know. I wanted the movie to end well, I suppose.
I wanted J.K. Simmons to lose.
Yes.
So I guess that's probably why I wanted Miles to succeed.
Mm-hmm. I liked the part where they played the music, so I wanted the music to be good, so I suppose I wanted Miles to succeed. It was brought up that I might not like Miles Teller because he's just not good looking.
Okay.
That is...
I wouldn't say he's not good looking.
I don't want
I mean, he's no Brad Pitt, he's still got some time.
He's better than Winston Churchill. I'll give him that.
True, and much less dead.
I just don't know. I don't think I'm that shallow where I want... Generally, would I prefer my male movie stars to be hot and ripped? Yeah, but enough about the Captain America movie franchise. There is definitely more plot stuff going on there than that. Does it help? Absolutely. Sebastian Stan, you're a beautiful man, but, we'll leave that to my fanfiction writing, okay?
Chris Evans, not the ginger one. Thumbs up, man.
Yeah, man. Imagine how much better Top Gear would have been if it had been him running it.
Oh.
Ooh.
maybe he'd still be part of the show. I wouldn't say no.
Is Ginger Chris Evans good at radio stuff? Like, he got a lot of work, but...
I don't know. I don't think I've listened to much of his stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, radio does still exist.
Yes.
And this is me saying it as someone
This is internet radio as well, so don't bash on it too hard.
No, let's veer away from that. Forward, man. First gear, go.
I got it.
God, it's so interactive on this podcast.
I love it. It's so real.
Oh, now I remember. No, I got it. There was an interview I read with Miles Taylor, and he came across as kind of an asshole.
Oh.
And he broke that divide between an actor not being a human being and just being an idea that they portray in films, to just being a guy in real life. And I'm not saying he's Mel Gibson, but it's just.
But there's still time.
You make an edgy joke in an interview for a Guardian newspaper online article, and that's going to affect how I see your films. Is that just? Depends.
What was the joke about?
It was about rape.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. The title of the article was something along the lines of, "Man, Miles Taylor sure is a dick, and here is why."
Oh. I feel like you were primed to think that then. Maybe.
Yeah, it was definitely a leading statement by the prosecution. I didn't need much more evidence than that. I don't think even if he had been as good looking as Brad Pitt, that would have helped. I am fickle when it comes to male hotties after all, so, you know.
That's true.
We'll see. I'd say I would go and see more Miles Taylor's films. It's not true. Would I obtain them legitimately online for less than market price? Perhaps.
So eBay, yeah.
Yeah, or just
eBay's still a thing, right?
Just ask my good mate to borrow them. What's his name? Couch Tuner. Mr. Tuner. Yeah.
Your good mate, Captain Jack Sparrow.
You know, see if he's got any bumming along that he doesn't need. Because, you know, he's in this is what brought the tangent on originally. He's in War Dogs with Jonah Hill, a movie about American military kind of service contractors.
So there's no dogs?
They are the dogs.
Oh, I see. It's a metaphor. I wasn't ready for that.
Like, they just go in, the premise of it is they go in and scam the American government and make a lot of money on that. And I'm like, that's not really, that's not cool. I mean, that's the thing that happens. Plus, a movie about just effectively tax dodging doesn't really sound that funny.
No.
Unless it's, The Untouchables, in which case that was pretty cool.
And there was that, what was it called? The Big Short? That was kind of about tax evasion as well.
Ah, I've been meaning to see that because one of the actors who I have recently quite enjoyed is in it. I don't remember who.
Is it Sebastian Stan? I know you remember if it was, wouldn't you?
I totally remember if it was Sebastian Stan.
I don't know.
God, man, he's a good-looking guy. And a good actor. Good actor. Very good.
I like his robot arm. He rocks the shit out of a robot arm.
I'm not gonna follow this thought train because it is just gonna be me talking about how a muscly guy is really muscly. And I'll be honest,
we've talked about The Rock before, man. Come on, keep it fresh.
We'll save that for the other YouTube channels, okay?
Okay.
Check out the Captain America fan videos in your own time, guys. No rush. Yeah, Miles Taylor, Bleed for This. I think it's a boxing movie about someone who wants to box, or maybe did box, and then can't box anymore. But they get in the ring for one last fight or something.
Oh, like Mayweather?
I was going to say like any boxing movie ever, but that would also work.
Okay. I'm just trying to make it a bit more topical for the audience.
Do you want to go through a scathing Mayweather-McGregor commentary?
Why not?
Cool. I didn't watch it at all, so this one's on you. I'm gonna figuratively take the back seat on this one.
This is the part where I also take the back seat, because I didn't watch it either.
Oh, well.
Because I refuse to be a part of lining the pockets of f***wits.
I think we summed up our positions quite well there.
Yep.
That's the kind of...
It's almost like there was nothing at stake, and that they were very vocal about how much money it was going to make them.
Just like our podcast.
And it's almost like that turned me off. Not that that would turn me off of this podcast, because of course the roles are reversed, and it's different when it's about me.
You're not turned off by yourself then?
Not even slightly.
Or me. Interesting. Nice. Audience, you take that how you will. Save that for the Tumblr. Moving on.
It's okay. How about my topic I semi-prepared?
Yes!
Nice! Let's go. Third gear. I promise I'll never do this in any other podcast again.
We're slowly ramping it up.
So, Sandy, seamless transition.
Bam.
What is your favourite video game you've never played? And if you haven't thought of one, don't worry, because I've got one queued up.
My favourite video game that I've never played.
And by that, I of course mean a game that you like the idea of, or there's something cool about it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you just like that Nolan North gets a lot of work, because he sure does.
Nolan North,
he's everywhere, man.
He does the work.
He's the Dwayne The Rock Johnson of video game voiceover.
Oh, that's a good comparison
Thanks,
there.
Man. I was going to say Samuel L. Jackson, but he's also in a lot of movies.
I mean,
there's a lot of examples.
I like Samuel L. Jackson.
Me too.
Are you familiar with the 2001 Colin Farrell movie SWAT?
No.
As far as 3 stars out of 5, early 2000s action movie featuring a little bit of Linkin Park in the soundtrack, and also pre-Avengers Jeremy Renner goes.
Oh wow.
It's okay. It's a thoroughly enjoyable movie featuring such highlights as LL Cool J's chest, and a part of the soundtrack of which the song is It's Hot Action When You're Rolling With Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh.
And then the riff hits in, and it's pretty good. It's pretty enjoyable. Would recommend.
Nice. Speaking of LL Cool J, I recently saw him in an episode of one of those NCIS things.
NCIS at the beach somewhere. It's LL Cool J. He's pretty good looking. He's got
No, he was like a detective. It was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I remembered that LL stands for Ladies Love.
I did not fucking know that. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Ladies Love.
Ladies Love Cool J, which kind of pulled me out of the episode, to be honest.
Man, how long in life have I just silently ignored LL Cool J's name?
Brilliant.
Man, do fucking quote Ian on that.
That's from the horse's mouth. I can't remember what show he was on. Possibly a Graham Norton, possibly a Jonathan Ross, back when that was on the BBC. And he was like, "Look, Mr. LL Cool J, what does the LL stand for?" And he was like, "Look, man, it's real simple. Ladies love Cool J." And then he kind of bigged up his chest and flexed a little.
Oh God, he does have a
nice
like, chest.
You know what? I think the women would go for that if that was what they were into.
Yeah.
Ladies love Cool J.
Yeah. But, the man's a great actor like that.
And
rapper.
Decent rapper.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Let's hit this podcast in the back of a head with a shovel and bury it.
Yeah.
Never touch it again.
I think there were some good bits. Hopefully there were some bad bits as well that we'll lose. I had fun though, that's the main thing.
That was and with any luck, Mel Gibson, the Afflecs, Weatherspoons or not Weatherspoons, the British government, Winston Churchill or his immediate family, the Minogues, we can sort anyone
Oslo,
else.
maybe.
I know, I was pretty positive about Oslo. Helstinki we might have to
Tom
worry
Hanks
about.
was mentioned.
Yeah, Tom Hanks was good. Tom Hanks I don't think would be too offended by this. Depending on if we cut out the Edward Snowden bit, the American government may or may not be okay with this.
Yeah.
Probably cut out the Edward Snowden bit then.
Well, we've hit a lot of topics, that's the main thing. So hopefully...
We've covered some ground, we've learned a few things.
We learned... What did we learn, Sandy? We learned that LL Cool J stands for Ladies Love Cool J.
Man.
And if that's not a good note to end on, I don't really know what is.
The more you know, kids. Stay in school. Or stay in the gym so you can look like LL Cool J. Probably more important and better for your self-esteem in the long run.
Or do both.
Oh, a well-rounded
If you've got the
person.
time. If you've got the time. Here's a pro tip. Most people don't have the time. I mean...
Oh, right. Is this where we go into a watch sponsorship?
Sure. Let's see. This podcast...
It's closing time!
Alright, okay. It's a good watch. It doesn't need batteries, you know. I was going to tell you all about it. Powered by the sun. Well, now that Sandy has left, because it is of course closing time, whatever that means.
We're unclear on the rules at this stage. I mean, I want to go, but I also still want Ian to drive me home. Right?
Are you okay?
No, but none of us are okay at the end of the day. We're all a long time dying, and God fucking damn it, I need to end on a happy note. Oslo was nice. I'm really happy about that. Got to see some friends.
That sounds like a terrific weekend.
Yeah.
Minus the illness, but I'm glad you've worked through that. Hopefully I don't get it.
I'm glad I worked through that too.
wish I had done anything interesting recently. Actually, I did go on holiday, but I haven't mentioned that
Oh, shit.
at all. It's probably too late. Maybe next time.
We'll record that on next week's podcast. Wink.
In more than 1 week.
More than 1 week, next week, in a couple of months. Next week's podcast.
Just whenever.
Tune in eventually.
It's flexi time, man. Click the bell. Then you'll know, the wee bell.
Time's
Your phone will be
dog.
Your phone will be like, meep, meep. Here, by the way, that podcast that you really like, uploaded. Might not happen again for 3 months. You should get on that. Might not happen again for 6. Might not happen for a whole
Might
year.
not happen again ever if Mel Gibson hears about this.
Maybe.
Oh god, or those Norwegian bodybuilders. Oofed. Gonna have to watch out for them.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Sorry, I definitely wasn't going to throw up there. We're fine. Totally not ill at all. See you guys.
When I was younger, I wanted my name to be Ladies Love Cool James. Ladies Love Cool James. Ladies